Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is a really lovely Wednesday afternoon. It's nice that the rain has finally stopped and we had a bit of sun earlier. It's clouded over now, but we're still in reasonably good shape. Look, it's bright out there. And here are today's notices. First up from me, I am not the lost property man. If you lose something, the last thing you are allowed to do is come to me and say, "Sir, have you seen?" Because the answer will invariably be no, and it might be a shouted answer. However, I do have on my desk two quite important looking pieces of lost property that have found their way here. This is all I got, so don't ask about anything else, right? But these two could be important. I have a key on a string. If you've lost a key on the string, it says something on it in pen, but I can't quite read it. If you've lost a key on a string, come see me. And I also have this mobile phone. iPhone, that leather case, found this morning. So if you've lost either of those things, do come and see me. If you've lost anything else, don't even think about it. Look at the scary face, that's what's going to happen to you. Okay, what else do I need to tell you about today? I need to tell you about what a lovely day I've had, because actually I have had a fantastic morning. I've been teaching quite a lot, and I always like teaching. I have some brilliant Year 9s in my English class. I'm going to say it, you guys are fantastic. And I also seem to have a really talented, dedicated Year 10 drama class at GCSE, so I'm very happy about that. But I've also had a good stroll around the school. And what I've seen as I've gone around the school, and I am not making this up, I've seen students in blindfolds for various reasons. I've seen students reenacting trench warfare in a fantastic history lesson. I've seen some really, really great group work taking place in a number of places. But more importantly, everywhere I've gone, I've seen students who are giving each other really, really good quality feedback. Now, I'm currently working on a list of kind of ground rules for feedback. But as we said before, those ground rules are primarily deliver the feedback in a way you'd want it to be delivered to you, so it's got to be positive. Start with something somebody's done really well. Praise them, and then set them a specific target that you think they can meet. But I have seen loads of examples of this, both in writing and verbally, taking place in lessons. And I want to say thank you to all of your teachers for providing those opportunities, and thank you to you guys, nearly all of you, for taking them so seriously. There is one young man in Year 9, and I'm not going to name his name, but if you're in Year 9 and you're a boy, I could be talking about you, who in his geography lesson was given the opportunity to give somebody feedback. So if you're a Year 9 boy and you've had a geography lesson where you gave somebody feedback, then I could be talking to you. And that young man, who was doing a what went well and even better if for his partner, instead of actually thinking about something constructive, simply wrote what went well, most of it, even better if, not much. And I want just to use that this time as a reminder to all of you. When you're feeding back to somebody, you are helping their learning. If you don't do that properly, you are actually interfering with their opportunity to learn. You are stealing from them an opportunity to learn and to make progress. So if you're that young man, and hopefully you've identified who you are by now, in your Year 9 geography lesson, boy, you were giving feedback to a girl and that's what you wrote, something along those lines, have a think about it, because I'm going to be keeping an eye on you and I don't like that kind of thing. I shouldn't dwell too much on one negative example though, because what I've seen on the most part has been absolutely brilliant. There's one more thing to talk to you about today, and that is these little beauties. Co-curriculum activity change slips, which are now with all of your form tutors. And if you wanted to change one of your activities, bearing in mind only Year 10s can opt out of games at the minute, and Year 9 can opt out of games from next week, if you really wanted to change an activity, then you would need to ask your form tutor for a change slip. Most of the time, your form tutor is going to say, no. Why do you want to change? Because really we should be keeping our current activities until at least half term, unless there's a really, really good reason why we need to change. So if your form tutor thinks, you know what, they've got a good reason, I know there are a couple of boys in knitting who really don't want to be there, then your form tutor will give you a change slip. That doesn't mean you have now changed activity. You're going to take that slip and you are really politely and at an appropriate time going to find the teacher whose activity you wish to leave. So if you're one of those couple of Year 9 boys who I just mentioned who wants to leave knitting, you're going to find Mrs. Ellis at break time, at lunchtime, maybe in registration if your form tutor lets you go. And you're going to say, Mrs. Ellis, I've really enjoyed being part of your knitting class. Thank you so much for the opportunity, but actually I'd like to go and do something else now. And if Mrs. Ellis agrees with you, If she agrees with you, she's going to sign it off. But don't forget, we don't have to let you change because we need certain numbers in certain clubs, and you have signed up for them, and it's only been a couple of weeks. So I'm not going to be authorising hundreds and hundreds of changes. Anyway, you get that signature. You then find the person, thank you, who runs the club, which you want to be joining. You get them to agree that they'll take you, and if they say yes, you take the slip back to your form tutor with both signatures on, and they will change the spreadsheet. But remember, it's not your God-given right to change. Most of us should be sticking with what we've got, at least until half-term. That's it from me today. Have a lovely, lovely afternoon. Isn't it nice here in the sunshine? Isn't it lovely? So have a great afternoon, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye.